Hello folks that are early to the stream. What's up, Splinter Shield, the Rizzy? Hey Cheshire! What's up? Hey! It's here as well. Cybernetics, Iker, Itzio. The OGs. I like it. Spoilers, today has a lot of pictures of new gear coming in the next update, so I think that's pretty good. Is it not? Why do you hear Hamish? You hear me because I am the overlord and controller of all that is happening here. Is it just me or is the date wrong? What? Is the date wrong? Probably. I probably didn't update it. Give me 2 seconds. You know what? That happens because Ella and George are doing another internal event at the moment. And usually they do that, and I forgot, I'm sorry. What do we want? Number 174 on the 11th of November. Okay. If you refresh, it should be updated. Whoops. Smims? I am. GM1980. Yeah. I did get some good news from my neurologist today. That my last MRI showed no progression, which means all the stuff that's there. I mean, there's no cure for MS right now, so I will have it until they figure that whole thing out. But it's, yeah, 0 progression, which is the best I can hope for, so I'm very happy. I did it again. Sorry. It was about time. That's Trick.
There
We
we
got
go.
Trick and Johan today. We have a lot to talk about and a lot to show off. So I want to get as quickly as possible into it. But before we do that, just quick note: there was routine maintenance performed yesterday with no player-facing changes. So servers stuff, the spring cleaning that they have to do, has already been done. The next big thing on the agenda, Johan, if you could take us through what is happening with the TU12 PTS coming up soon.
Yes, so the title update 12 PTS will start this Friday, so Friday the 13th. The aim here is really to test all the new gear, which Trick will be introducing momentarily, as well as to try out optimization station, the balance in that, like the amount of resources that you're using. Is it the right amount? Is it a bit too little, a bit too much? We're very much interested in that, and just in general feedback on the update, of course. So the patch notes for that will become available on Friday. There's also a few things that will not be present on the PTS itself. That is the global event shop and the new global event that is coming with title update 12. But that will, of course, be available when the update launches later in the year.
Okay.
So on another topic, you have this PTS is going to be a little bit different than the ones we've had in the past. The waves are going to be spaced out. So wave 1 is going to start this Friday, as mentioned. It's just going to run until the next Wednesday. So that's going to be, let's just double check the date here. It's going to be until the 18th. Yes, exactly. And then the wave 2 will launch later in the month, so the 27th of November. And then it will run in a similar fashion up until December 2nd. So there will be 2 distinct separate phases of the title update 12 PTS this time around. And we really hope that you guys will jump onto the PTS, try it out, give us your thoughts and feedback. The best place to leave your thoughts are on the official forums. And also try to participate in both PTSs if you can as well, because there are going to be some changes, of course, from wave 1 to wave 2. And we also want to make sure that those changes that go into wave 2 are solid. And we definitely appreciate all the feedback that you give us during our PTSs. As a general reminder, the PTS is PC only, as always. The preload will become available on Thursday, where you can preload the download. It is a separate download, so if you don't have it downloaded, you need to essentially download the entire game again. The characters are imported from yesterday's maintenance, actually. So whatever status your character was yesterday during the maintenance, that's the character you will have available for testing on the PTS on Friday. For wave 2, we will likely do another character import, but that's for wave 1. And yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of the PTS. We really, really want your feedback, so make sure that you jump in, test the changes, test the additions, and give us your thoughts.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how people get into it, especially this new gear that we're going to talk about in a sec, because there's a lot of new stuff. Do you mind if we get stuck into that right now? Because I love when we get to show new things.
I do like new toys. New toys are good.
Trick, what design philosophy-wise, completely as an overarching thing, is there a thread that runs through some of the new itemization that people will experience in TU12?
So we knew we wanted to do like a big skill focus for TU12, and so we went through and we're looking at, hey, what are the things that we like and do not like about the way that like skill builds work inside of the game? And so the major thing that we noticed is that because you don't have much health and because you don't deal much weapon damage, there's an awful lot of throw up your sort of autonomous defense systems, being your turret or your drone, and just kind of let them do the work for you, or have such a short skill cooldown that you can do that with like Seeker Mines. And so we wanted players to be more engaged, and we needed to be like, we have to have a carrot to get people to get more engaged with their skills. And so we decided to be like, hey, let's make certain that when you interact with your skills, when you use your weapon on the enemies, it buffs your skills in a really powerful way. So that means that we made perfected versions of some talents that already did that. And then the entirety of the way that Rigor and Capacitor work and to a lesser extent waveform, were all around the idea of going, oh, let's make this more reactive and more engaging, so that you've got a sort of stronger. You're almost playing a action real time strategy game with your little robotic friends.
Well, I like that. Let's show some pretty things. And
I love pretty things.
We'll go through them one by one. We have. Ooh, let's check. I'm gonna do a slow fade because it's so much more dramatic. What are we looking at here? This exotic.
So that is the new exotic PDR called the Capacitor. Its talent capacitance is sort of like a souped-up skill-based version of the Striker gear set. Of every time you shoot an enemy, it adds a stack of 1% skill damage. And then after a delay of 5 seconds, each stack will decay by 1 per second. So you're not punished for missing with Capacitor. In addition, every skill tier that you have adds to your base damage with that weapon, meaning that even though you're not going to get the, outlandish bonus damage of having an all red build, you're still not doing nothing with it. And in addition, your skills are really just tearing people apart, because 50% skill damage is a whole bunch. And if you can keep that up, especially since this is a very rapid firing assault rifle, it's real effective.
Yeah, plus the 5% per skill tier that's big.
Yeah, that 5% weapon damage is it's a lot.
Oh, that's nice. I'm looking forward to seeing what people say about it. People were, when we started talking about skills, they were like, I don't know if my skill builds. I don't see that in this.
It's so like when I decided, I was like, okay, I'm going to take my character from live and import it into the dev environment. And then I was immediately like, okay, I'm going to give myself a bunch of the rewards, not even God rolled, of Empress International, of some of these exotics and a couple of the named items, and was like, can I throw together a trash build that nonetheless is fun and effective? And I was able to get challenging difficulty with a couple of directives to be kind of my usual normal. And so if I had had God rolled things, I'm sure I would have been able to roll around in heroic. Like, I had that up and running real quick.
Yeah, I do see some questions in here. People are like, how do I get my hands on it? I don't know if we'll be talking about like loot sources on these today, and I don't even know if that's something we...
Okay, fine. I know how you get Capacitor.
No, we can definitely talk. We can definitely talk about it. How you get the capacitor?
Okay, go for gold.
Capacitor.
How can people get the capacitor?
So Capacitor is the sort of feature reward of the summit challenges. So it's not like you don't have to do like a ton of summit challenges, because that can actually be pretty tough. But if you ever complete 5 summit challenges in a run, that 5th summit challenge is going to give you your first capacitor, as well as the recalibration blueprint for it to make it to re-roll it. And then as long as you've ever acquired that, anytime that you're getting assault rifle exotics or just exotics in general, the capacitor exists in the pool.
All right. Let's move on to our next one. What do we have here?
What do we have here? Oh, hello, Scorpio.
I actually had to look up, because scorpions have 8 legs, as we know. I had to check, do the arms count as legs or not? Because I was like, oh, did we get it right? We did. Don't worry. It's fine.
We did.
Yeah.
I was like, I grew up around scorpions, and I actually don't remember. I don't normally spend the time to count.
Oh, there you go. That's fine. We got it right.
We got it
right.
right.
What can you tell us about this one?
So this is such a mean gun to do to people. So this is a pretty fast-firing shotgun. It's the 612. But every time that you hit an enemy with it, it applies a 10-second debuff or refreshes that debuff. The first stack of it applies poison. The third stack of it applies disorient. The sixth stack of it applies shock. And the 7th stack kind of locks. You can no longer gain stacks at that state, but it gives 20% additional damage. But the funny thing is that the Scorpio is ignorant of which person wielding a Scorpio has done this. So you can get a group of 4 people all shoot somebody at once and apply 4 stacks. And this isn't like an auto well, not an auto, it's a semi-automatic shotgun. But you can just like, oh, everybody fired twice. Okay, you're at 7, and this poor dude is drunk, poisoned, and electrocuted. It's great. I will note there's an important caveat. because I imagine that the chat is asking, the debuffs are different in PvP. Instead of doing poison, disorient, shock, they are bleed, disrupt, and snare. But otherwise, it is the same.
That was my big concern when I first heard it. It was giving me
Oh,
like
yeah, we were like,
throwbacks to like
oh, these
original
are so
vanilla
mean.
rogues.
Yeah, exactly. We were like, oh, this is a mean-spirited, nasty thing to do to the NPCs in our game. We would not do that to the players. That's horrible.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing that on the PTS specifically, because that is
Yes.
nasty.
Yep. Actually, it is looking really, really good, actually. Good question from chat. So does it count each pellet or each shot? Because it's a shotgun, right? So
It is, I believe, each shot, not each pellet.
Okay.
Is what it's listening for. Because otherwise, like, it would happen immediately. Which is a little inconsistent with, like, Striker, for example, because Striker is counting per pellet, but this is per shot.
Okay. That's helpful to have that information. All right. Let's move on.
I hope I'm not super wrong, but when I was playing with it earlier, it seemed to be that way, or I'm a terrible shot.
I hope so too. What are we looking at here?
Oh, is that waveform?
I think so.
I
Yes,
had not
it is.
actually
Yes.
seen this photo before. That's a really good shot. Okay, I'm back. So waveform is probably one of the quirkier pieces of gear that we've made. So its bonus is pretty powerful, but it's also very strange. So it actually is. It alternates giving stacks of a 3% skill damage buff to each of your skills. So it starts saying, oh, left skill is going to go up, and every second it's going to get 3% skill damage. And then when it's sitting there at 30% skill damage, it will sit there for 10 seconds. And then your right skill will start getting the buff, and the left skill will start losing the buff. So it's sort of a balancing act. I would highly recommend not sitting there and focusing on it, but rather sitting there and going, okay, I know that I've got this going on, and just periodically peeking down to be like, okay, which one of my skills is just going to mess people up? Initially, I was skeptical of how much brain power it would take to like manage it, and then the moment I actually started trying to use like a 2-skill build with it, I was like, oh, this is a mess. This is very powerful.
Okay. All right. Again, this is why PTS things are super important. So
yeah.
I would assume that we need a lot of feedback on these things, and I'm looking forward to the PTS and seeing what comes out of this.
Yeah, that one is
absolutely.
particularly
We definitely-
mean.
Yep.
The other one's particularly mean combined with. I was noticing that if you have like a turret and a drone running with that at the same time, you're just kind of like, oh, one of them is just killing everyone. Oh, I see.
Got it. Oh.
Yeah, we definitely want as much feedback as possible on those. I also saw a question in chat about how do you get these new weapons. So Trick mentioned a bit earlier how to get which is it? Capacitor?
Capacitor.
Yeah, there we go. I always get that wrong, but yeah, you get that to the 5 challenges in one ascent. The others are all tied to the upcoming season. So we will talk more about the upcoming season a bit closer to release, but they're tied to that.
All right. Time to move on to some named items that we have. Where am I in my list? Okay. Let's go. Ooh, a new sniper.
Is that the scalpel, the 308?
It is.
Yes, it is. So the scalpel is a new marksman rifle that has an improved version of Future Perfect on it. So it's got the Future Perfection skill talent. And so it is just a stronger version of Future Perfect. So every time you're getting weapon kills, it raises your skill tier, which would combine, for example. Well, I guess you can't use it with the capacitor. I guess you could swap to the capacitor afterwards. But it
Wait, why couldn't
it
you
is
use
a
it
great
with the
way of
capacitor?
having a
This isn't an exotic,
mixed
right?
build. Yeah, this is an exotic. Yeah,
No, it's-
you just
no,
have
it's-
to swap.
But it's not an exotic. This is a named item.
It's not an
Right.
exotic. Sorry, it's a named weapon. Yes,
So you could
Ah.
use it.
you could.
Yeah.
It's super good. I really love Future Perfection because it lets me make because I'm a coward, a blue-yellow build.
Nice.
I should be doing blue-red. I should be doing yellow-red, but instead I'm a coward.
Me too.
I like to
We
live.
have more named weapons. This one. This one is cool.
Is it test subject? My favorite
It
friend.
is. What can you tell us about
So
test subject?
test subject has the new perfectly in sync, which is the new band sweeping the nation from my childhood. And what it is that essentially if one of your skills hits an enemy, you're going to be doing bonus skill damage. And gosh darn it, what is the insync thing? It's hitting an enemy grants the bonus skill damage, and a skill hitting an enemy adds weapon damage. If both of them are on, it's awesome, and it's just higher percentages than before. It's an amazing thing to combine with a turret build, for example, or the assault drone, and it's just so mean. This became my primary after I stopped experimenting with stopped playing around with capacitor, and I'm torn between which of them I love more. My beautiful children guns.
Yes, there's a lot. We're about halfway through the new stuff coming. So
I guess I should be more concise.
No, don't. This is great. It's you were very on message when you said that the flavor of the month is skill stuff.
Yeah, which is why like perfectly
sure.
in sync had to exist, because it is the I'm going to engage with all of the things, and my power will be overwhelming.
Okay, let's take a look at our next one. What is the battery pack?
So battery pack is an sort of updated version of calculated. So it reduces your skill cooldowns by 15%. So while in sync is a really good choice for I'm going to have a long uptime skill, if you are somebody who's using like your sticky bombs or your seeker mines, then battery pack is really good for you, because kills from cover will reduce skill cooldowns by 15%. Is just a phenomenal. I'm going to stand at the back. I'm going to throw explosives on everyone I don't like, and eventually very quickly I will get my skills back.
Yeah, that one's going to be pretty nasty. We have new gear sets as well.
Rigor is my favorite Shadowrun reference in the video game.
Oh wait, this isn't it. This is Caesar's Guard. I was jumping ahead.
Gosh darn it! Why'd you do this to me?
Sorry. I want to do Caesar's Guard first, and then we'll get into the Rigor stuff. What is Caesar's Guard?
Caesar's Guard is perfectly skilled. It is in the Empress International brand. So that is the new brand that is coming out. That was also true of the battery pack. So this one is that skill kills have a 30% chance to reset skill cooldowns, which is a phenomenal mix if you're doing essentially a mixed long set, short set skill combination. So you're using a turret and mines. It's a phenomenal way to keep those mines up basically constantly. Especially if you're using the sniper turret. Sniper turret plus mines, that was a terrible choice. The seeker mine or the explosive sticky, very powerful with this.
Nice. And also you can look really cool.
I love the look of the Empress Guard set. I think of the Empress International brand. It is really solid.
Nice. Let's move over to we jumped the gun a bit, but the new gear set. So we're looking at the Rigger backpack, right?
Yeah, so this is Rigger Backpack. It's got complete uptime, which does make a Caesar's Guard look a little weak. But Rigger, it has a Tend and Befriend talent on it, and that is that every time you interact with your deployed skills, you grant it 25. You get 25% skill damage for 10 seconds. Interaction is deploying the skill. It is retargeting, so changing the target of your turret or your assault drone or any of the other things that have consistent targets, using them, which is also like firing the mortar turret counts as using a skill, as does firing the sniper turret. And so this is, or healing the skill, which is not a thing that everybody does and knows that you can do, but it's a thing you can do. So this is actually like a really great way for the long uptime skills to just have a very powerful additional bonus to them, particularly when combined with both of its backpack and chest piece. So its backpack is what I think we're looking at right now.
Yeah, so I was just going to head over to the chest piece because there's another talent there, which is more damage stacking. There's going to be some brutal damage stacking on this.
Yeah, increase the damage buff of from Tend to Befriend from 25% to 50%. It is just so much. you really are just doing an alarming amount of skill damage.
Nice. All right. Well, I
Ouch.
can't wait to see it. And also, again, I have a screenshot which proves you can look super cool.
That has the new rigger outfit on the vanity outfit for season 4.
I'm always into a hood, and this looks super cool.
I like it. It matches. We've got a good matching gear dye for it that I spent too long putting together because I like making gear dyes now, apparently. So I really like the rigger look, and I like the rigger. I love the rigger skill set. Actually, it's wonderful.
Someone said, "Can you show the gear set again?" I can. Let me just head back to the gear set, the backpack. Hang on. I'll just go back in the video. Let me rewind, and we'll show you the 2, 3, and 4 piece buffs as well.
Yeah, it was like probably the 2 and 3 piece went back by too fast. So skill haste and duration. We really want you to be using rigger lives to have the long-term skills that you repeatedly interact with. So drones and turrets and stuff are its favorite friends.
Yes.
Especially since like the complete uptime one, canceling your skills resets their cooldown, is just, oh, I'm down to my last shot. I'm just going to cancel the skill and I've got it back again.
Yeah. I'm very, very interested to see how people treat skill builds on the PTS before we get into it, because that's a lot. Like, that's a lot.
Uh-huh.
But I'm excited. If it's fun, it's great.
It is. I'm worried it's too powerful, but at the same time, we've got people balancing the game. It is not me who's balancing the game. I did not make these items.
like you said, some of these items are being treated differently from PvE to PvP.
Yes, particularly Scorpio, because that's just mean.
Yeah. Show Empress International again. Let me go back for you.
I guess actually worthy of note is Empress International has skill health, skill damage, and skill efficiency. Efficiency, I believe, was added with season 3, and so that is essentially a 1% buff to each point of skill efficiency is a 1% buff to all of the relative skill things. Because I think it's haste, it's cooldown, it's all of them. I think it's literally all of them. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But at that point, you've chosen not to have a full rigger set, so I don't know what you're doing.
True fact. Are there any things in chat, Johan? I don't know if you've been watching chat. Is there anything that pops out at you as what you would like to address?
Yeah, I'm looking at chat now.
Maybe you could remind
people. I think there's definitely a lot of questions about the new gear.
Yeah, could you remind people about what's happening with the PTS if they missed what you said at the start of the stream?
Yeah, absolutely. So the PTS for Title Update 12 starts this Friday the 14th. Preload will become available this Thursday, so you can download it on PC. Please do jump in if you're a PC player and give us your thoughts and feedback on especially all the new gear, all the stuff that was just now presented to you. I hope you like the gear. They're very much a lot of skill-based gear. Almost all of them are. So we definitely want feedback on balance, both in terms of PvE, PvP, all of that good stuff. So make sure that you give us that thoughts. If you would be a console player, that does not mean you cannot give us your feedback. We highly encourage you to do so regardless. You can still jump onto the PTS forums and give us your thoughts based on what you've seen here, what you see in the patch notes, etc. So you can also get your voice in that way.
Cool. I did see a question here. Ziggy Zell's asking, is inventory going to be up to 150, 300? We actually did say last week, so it is going up to 150. And we did.
Yeah.
Yes.
That. So if you missed that memo, good news. Yes. That is per character.
I have one more item to talk about.
Did I miss something?
Ooh.
You did. You missed the skill variant.
Oh, yeah, because we didn't have an image for it.
Right.
Tell us about this new skill variant that's coming.
So it should be available on the PTS. I believe it's on on one of the vendors in PTS. I can't actually remember which one, but it's the Achilles Pulse. So we're doing an update to Pulse. What it is essentially the Achilles Pulse is a single target pulse And when it pulses that target, it places a bunch of it identifies vulnerabilities on that character and marks these points on them, kind of like you were playing Killer 7. And depending on your skill tier, it's either one weak point on each, or one of these sort of hotspots on each character, or up to 3 with 6. And shooting those hotspots applies your headshot damage as bonus damage. So if you have 200% headshot damage, you will do 200% of your weapon damage as bonus damage to them. And so will anyone who shoots them on those hotspots. And so it actually gives you an opportunity to be like, oh, I'm going to go with a red-yellow build, and I'm going to be pinging these people, and I'm going to be dealing headshot damage to them. But you can also go like, oh, I'm just going to go full skill tier, skill haste, so that I can pulse just tons of people at once or in sequence and just soften everyone up for my allies. Each of the spots actually has sort of a damage threshold where it says, if I've been dealt over this amount of damage, then I will fade away. So you still get to apply all of the damage from it. So if you do 10 million damage in a shot and the threshold's at like 100,000, you still dealt 10 million damage. Congrats. Mm-hmm. But it will fade away after that. And that way you can both use either a high burst, like a marksman rifle, or you can use a shotgun or an SMG or something to apply, oh, I'm going to hit that spot several times, and it's not just going to blink out of existence. But you're still going to get the sort of effect of it.
Nice, thanks for the info. There's been a bunch of questions about the exotics specifically. I'm just going to run back through them real quick so you can see the talents on them, everyone in chat. So the capacitor that is coming. Here you go. There's the capacitance talent.
I love that this is a middle rolled capacitor inside of this video. That it's like, meh.
Exactly. Also, you can see the weapon family there and the mag size. I know there was some clarification required on that. We have also the Scorpio. It is worth noting, again, like Trick said, that this talent works differently in PvP to its PvE counterpart.
Yeah, I can repeat. The substitution there is it goes bleed, disrupt, ensnare in PvP.
Okay, let me just jump back forward to where that is. Yeah. Okay, and it is per shot, not per...
I believe it's
pellet.
per shot. I would be hilarious if in moments we tweet a correction, but I believe it is per shot.
All right. We have the waveform holster, which is the other exotic. There you go. So stacking skill damage.
It's so strange. I did not expect to enjoy it, and I enjoy the hell out of it. So I like waveform.
Yeah, those are the 3 exotics coming in the next update. I'm just going to head over to some agent highlights for the week because I like showing off all of these things. It's always a good time, and keep an eye on chat if there's anything else that pops up for you while we do that. Because this week, speaking of weapons, I have Fulvia SVG, the Japanese cosplay community, whipped up a chameleon, which I
That's amazing.
Was a big fan of. So head over to Fulvia's Twitter, so Fulvia_SVG, if you want to see some more of that.
I love the weapon stand that's been assembled for this.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we also have from Nadia, who goes by No Hope Out There on Twitter, some more cosplay stuff, which I am a big fan of. And that's some nice lighting as well. So fantastic photos as well coming through there. So head over and follow her over on Twitter, No Hope Out There. If you do have any cool Division-themed stuff, and again, like I say every time, it can be anything. Doesn't need to be cosplay, doesn't need to be pottery. I haven't even seen any Division pottery. I would like to, but it hasn't happened yet.
It needs to happen.
Yeah. Neverwinter 27 says, easiest game to cosplay. I've had a lot of discussions with the cosplay community about this, and I disagree with you. If you do think so, please prove me wrong and show us your cosplay. Splinter Shield's here. He's going to fight you. That man is a stalwart of the cosplay community. Yeah, so there's your challenge. Division pottery, make it happen. Division shrubbery, yes, for the Knights who say nee would be fantastic. Any plant-based Division stuff would be
extremely Edward Scissorhands move there.
Yes. Please. That would be fantastic. Anything else you want to remind the community of before we head off? I mean, the PTS starts in 2 days, so that's always
yes.
Nobody warned me that was Friday the 13th. Nobody told me it was Friday the 13th. I feel very
now you know. Now you know.
Now I know.
No, but I think that the main takeaway here is really like the update will become available to test for PC players on Friday. Jump in, give us your thoughts. We love to hear them, and we always appreciate when you give us concise, constructive feedback.
Yeah, and while we
love to see more of that.
Yeah, we follow, and we're always watching streams, and we're checking out the conversation on Twitter and all that sort of stuff. But and Reddit threads are great, but if you can, concise posts on the forums are much more actionable and much easier for us to archive and go through. So if you do have feedback, like Moobot says, thanks Seven for making that happen. The forums are the best place to do the feedback, and you'll make Johan's job much easier, and it'll make the game better, and he'll be happy. Right?
I'll be very happy.
There you go. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We do have, like always, we end the stream with some photos from the Division 2 community. Please send them in. So hashtag the Division 2 photos on Twitter. We do have a very dedicated community of people who week in and week out produce some awesome stuff. But if you want to try your hand, use the photo mode in the Division 2 and share that with us on Twitter. T3 Feathers is asking, is there a state of the game next week? I don't know. Johan, that's your call.
I have no
Yes,
idea.
there will be. And the focus on it is probably going to be a bit shorter. It's going to be about PTS feedback, to talk about any bugs that might have potentially been identified, balancing, etc. And you just like see how we move ahead into Wave 2 later in the month, right? So it's more of a PTS focus update. If you are looking for updates on upcoming content, etc., next week is not going to be the stream for you, but you can always stay up to date with future streams, etc., on our Discord, on our Twitter, and we always announce the topics of the stream ahead of time. But next week, PTS.
Cool. All right. We will see you all then. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, plays a lot of games, plays the PTS, plays Assassin's Creed, does some Viking stuff. That's always fun. I'm going to be doing that myself.
Yes.
All right. We will see you all next week. Take it easy, everyone.
Bye.
Have a good one.
I almost forgot to do the photos. I'm the worst. But at least you get to see the outro again.